250. I'm your host, Cameron, and I'm here with Tanya and Ben today. Before we get started, if this is your first time, we do this 6 times per week. We invite our members into the Zoom, and they can ask us bubble questions, any bubble questions that they want. We can't promise answers, but we do promise you at least will not suffer alone. And we get it right most of the time. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Ben, do you have questions for us today?
Sure do.
Let's do it.
So I am at that super fun stage of launching.
Oh.
And I have an issue. The issue being that whenever I do this is my one, and then I do this, it just keeps sending that back to me.
I have ran into an issue like this, where on the agency you had to do /version test to be able to, or version, would it be version test or version live?
Like that?
Version hyphen test. Now, that's not going to be your live site, though. That's going to be your test site. Now, the username and password should work, though, for this.
Yep, sure does.
Perfect. So this is for the version test. This isn't the actual live version. To do that, it should just be version hyphen live, I believe.
Have you deployed to live?
I believe so, yeah.
Go to development.
Up at the top right.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, it's not yet deployed. That's why. Yeah.
Oh, I have one error. What? Let's get that.
It's so mean. It's just being mean to you.
Huh.
It is being mean to me, Tanya.
It's very mean.
Deploy current version to live. Yes, please. No.
Consider just refreshing this page and trying that.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Now I have 3 issues.
Why. Yep. This is because you renamed your reusables, I think. They really should not let you rename them or do something to refactor it real on your behalf, because that's crazy. There's 2 places that they have problems with this. It's reusables, and then if you rename the parameters in backend workflows, you have to reset everything manually.
I'll fix you later. Okay.
Oh.
I like that.
Oh, I know what it is. I actually deleted those because they weren't working properly anyway, and I wanted to redo them. So, and they're just trying to find something that isn't there.
Makes sense.
Got it. So click deploy. Yep.
What's the description?
Launch.
Yeah, launch V1.
Launch, baby. Yeah, I like V1 better. V1's better.
Sweet. So now you should be able to go to that URL. It should be good to go.
Look at that.
Sweet.
There you go. It's launched live here on office hours. That's amazing. Congratulations, Ben.
Absolutely. After how many recreations and reworkings of this awesome stuff?
I say it was 4. I think it was 3. Tony, it was about 3, wasn't it?
I think it was 3, but it felt like 4 for sure.
But I definitely went
it felt
through
like
that
10.
scenario. that a lot of people go through, where I hired about 4 people to work on it who just disappeared and that kind of stuff for a long time, which I think can be an issue when you're trying to hire developers. You've got to find the right one.
It honestly can be really, really challenging. Absolutely. And it says like, you might find a developer and he'll be, or she will be like, yeah, I'd love to help out. And then you work with them for a week and then they're like, and they don't even say anything and they disappear.
Yeah.
It can get very frustrating. Definitely. But through all of your trials and tribulations, we are live. Very cool. So this isn't the launch. It looks like you're launching April 2022.
Yep. So I'm just launching the landing page today.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just to get something online. So when people look up my email and stuff like we all do, then it's going to, direct them actually somewhere.
Sweet.
So there we go.
I like it. Very exciting for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited.
No, I believe there was, I'm trying to remember who had launched the circle? Was that you as well, Ben? Or is it somebody else?
That's Callum.
That's
Callum.
Callum.
Okay. Because it's still on my phone. And when I find downtime, it's oftentimes when I'm out and about, I'm sitting down, like for a haircut, maybe. I'll start to fill out my onboarding application and then I get called away and I always forget to do it. So I feel bad for not signing up yet. I'm awful.
Yeah.
I think he's in version 22 as well, isn't he, Tanya?
Yes.
No, that's actually a question I have for you, Tanya. I'm not experienced with the BDK wrapper, but I've seen a lot of people talk about it, and I imagine Callum used the BDK wrapper as it's on my iOS device. Do you have firsthand experience with how that works? What exactly would you do?
Got it. Yeah. So what you do is, well, the first thing is you need to install the BDK plugin for, like, you want to share your screen and I'll walk you through it since mine can be persnickety these days.
Okay, so you're saying it is a plugin.
Yep, you go to plugins and then you search BDK and you want native apps BDK.
Gotcha.
And then from there, what you can do is you can buy the, so now you have the BDK app installed, you can go have you start hooking it up and develop with it. And then, and I've never done the part where you actually get like the test app part of it, but if you go to the BDK website or the documentation, he walks you through how you can test it. Like you can download his app and you can test your app within his app, if that makes sense. So you can kind of get a feel for the app experience. And then there's another one where you can do the test flight.
I got you. Okay. This is actually, so not that I need to. I was just curious for anybody maybe that's watching at home that's going to be creating an application. I feel like the BDK wrapper is known, but not really gone over, at least. But what we're going to have to do, obviously, at this point, is create an application together, Tanya, and run it through the BDK.
All right.
In fact, perhaps even for the bubble school that you created.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah, we're getting together on Thursday to do that. We can discuss it more, of course, in person. But very neat.
I'm super excited about it as well.
Yeah, just
today's session went really well. Yesterday's session was like that first awkward day of school where you're like, you have to introduce everybody, but you want to get started right away. Today's middle session, I'll call them the middle sessions. We weren't instructing new material, but we were answering a bunch of different questions, and yeah, it was fun.
Really cool. And I imagine
session 2 is done.
Would that be one of the reasons you're on your phone? In order to remove all the
'cause
bugs.
I restarted. I don't know if it's. I think that Zoom released an update last week, and something drastically has changed in terms of the resources they're requiring of the systems. Because I've heard from other people who are not even on Chromebooks are complaining that Zoom started acting up more than usual last week. So
Oh,
I'm
well,
hoping
there
they
you go.
fix it, because I use Zoom all the time.
Yeah, definitely super important for everything that you do. Definitely. Well, it makes
I'd
sense.
be a little scared to go and look at my reports and see how much time I actually am on Zoom.
At least 10 hours a day, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
For my AirDev Zoom is connected to Otter AI, and I still have like 10 days left in the billing cycle, and I'm at like less out of 6,000 minutes. I'm down to like less than 4,500. So I've spent at least 1,500 minutes on Zoom at AirDev. So
that's with AirDev.
mhm.
Amazing.
That's not even including for NoCoders. So yeah.
Let me go back to Ben real
What
quick.
else?
Ben, I know that we hopped to, just got your app launched. Did you have any other questions regarding that?
I'm good at the moment.
Wicked. Okay. So I know that we had spoken on Friday about iTunes, right? And about other APIs. Did you get all of those situated and set up? Or do you want to go over those?
Not even begun. I haven't
Gotcha.
started playing with them yet.
Gotcha. Yeah, whenever you're ready, let me know.
Oh, I'll have questions, I'm sure.
They're never ending.
Look at
I've been
all of
working. Oh, what's that?
Look at all those BN elements that were added to your. That's all BDK
Yeah.
stuff.
It is a lot, yeah. So, and maybe you know this. Let's say we take the native header. Would this this is native to the device, right? So Android or iOS.
I'm not sure about that. Maybe we can open up BDK's documentation. It's really good that he keeps up with his Notion.
Yeah, let's do just that. I'm curious about this. So, plugin documentation. This is probably the spot. Header button, update header. This is in depth. Very, very.
Mhm.
I guess it would be, since it's native to the device. From what I'm seeing here. Oh, gotcha. Thomas, welcome.
Hello, how art thou? How art everyone, actually?
Thank you very much. Is Carolina all set?
Yep.
Just taking a look at some of the BDK information. Quite a bit in depth. So here's the test flight. Oh, this is how you get it on your phone. Okay. Wow, very in depth. I'm excited. I definitely want to go over this. Perhaps another thing, Tanya, to add to the school. Maybe a last thing.
If I'm not
Yeah,
incorrect,
it's not too difficult to use BDK native. It's just about deciding which features you want to include in your app. What was that, Ben?
am I correct that I think Callum's trying to get the BDK guys onto an office hours, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He apparently reached out. I thought I handed that over completely to him when he asked before, but apparently he didn't know that I meant he could just go ahead and schedule Gaurav whenever. Yeah, so hopefully Gaurav will come on to office hours and talk all things BDK. I'll let you know, Cameron, if he signs up for whichever slot he signs up for.
Oh, sure. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to take a moment, actually, Ben. I've been working with Pathfix just a little bit here and there. Pathfix, they basically do all the OAuth for whichever service that you may have. Having fun with it. And so I did want to show you, because we had spoken about YouTube in particular. And so what I've done, and what's this called? This is called, let's go to Pathfix real quick. So I'm using their service here, and you can see this is my OAuth integration. And if you have a bigger account than just a free account, you can add more, of course. But here it is. I've already set this up through this huge list of services that they support. And you can see it is expansive. But what's really cool about it is that, well, very simply, you just link your keys, and it's actually through the plugin page. So you'll link your keys, and I can recycle these keys, so it's not a big problem showing them. But what you can do with it is we can actually go to our API connector where we set up some of this. And you can see, just have some keys. It's all in the URL, actually. But traditionally, you would have this URL in your API connector. What they've done is they've changed it to where now you can actually put Pathfix's URL. This is the service that you'll be calling. Just a one-word: YouTube, Amazon, Slack, whatever it may be. And from there, all you have to do is include your public key and the user ID that you're working with. But then it's all the JSON body, putting in these individual calls. It's very, very simple. So instead of having additional parameters where you'd say, part equals snippet or for mine equals true, you would just put these as just items here: part equals snippet, for mine equals true. But then when you reinitialize it, of course, there's an error. Let's go ahead and disconnect and reconnect. What's cool is, because I had mentioned to you last Friday that the access token, it expires, you get a refresh token, you have to handle all of these things. And Pathfix actually is responsible for handling all of this. We're getting an API error and it requires a refresh token. Wait a second. And that is because we need to do video. Let's look it up. There's one parameter that we need. I'm trying to figure out where it is. Type video. Wait a second. What is going on? I hate that. I'm always so excited to show you something, and then of course it doesn't work.
Right. I hate it when that happens. And it happens to me all the time. But
yeah.
That's the price we pay for doing office hours 6 times per week.
Yeah, I was just talking to them actually too. They have this really easy to use chat. Their chat was really responsive. Yeah, type video. This should totally work. That's exactly what I just. Okie dokie. Da 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 da. Let's try this out again, where we disconnect and reconnect. Oh, and actually, I should run this as, oops, go to user and then run this as this dude here. And you can see, very briefly before I selected disconnect, when I was on camera and I was still connected. So Pathfix does look at the individual user and looks on whether or not that user is connected to their services, and it is able to allocate resources that way pretty intelligently. Okay, fingers crossed. And then it says wait, I was just working with this. I wonder if it's my keys. Private key and URL, private key post. We'll keep that private. User ID doesn't need to be private. These are both query strings. I'm just getting a YouTube API error. Interesting. Is it saying anything? Well, at the very least, you can see that the duration is very quick. It is very quick. Well, nobody likes that.
It happens.
Like client ID and everything is the way that it needs to be. Private key. The same. This is my public key. Okay, let's take this and let's go to the OAuth. Let's go to API call in the setup because it's cool. We are given the ability to do this. It would be, let's test the connection then. It tests, we'll sign in. Successfully connected, it says. Then we can get a list of videos here. We'll actually take that and we'll replace it with what we had in our API connector. We'll send it. And interestingly enough, it does work, right? And so it shows the last 5 videos of mine, all video game related. So cool that it does work and that we know that it works. So the real question is, how do we get that here? Make sure that there's no spaces at the end of our keys. Nope. Private key and URL, perfect. There we go. Okay, very interesting why it decided to throw us a couple errors. But now it did come through. So Pathfix is supposed to make this a little easier than going the traditional route where you have several different calls and you handle the access and refresh token. What I will say between Pathfix, because there's of course pros and cons to using either or, whether you go one way or you do it the other. When you do it yourself, you do have access to, make sure that the refresh token is taken care of. And in the event a user says, hey, I've ran into an issue with my authorization, you have the ability to manually help them fix that. Versus Pathfix, which is sort of like a one-all, be-all kind of thing, where you don't, I guess you still do have the ability to actually help out your people. Say they couldn't make it, you can actually go to where your activity is or the accounts that are connected, and you can manually remove these. It's not obviously within Bubble. So it's whatever your cup of tea is, whether you want to be able to use a third-party service or whether you want to be able to juggle all of the things yourself inside your own application. But instead of having, how many different calls did I have? I think it's like 3 separate calls for Google alone, just to be able to get the OAuth and the refresh. We've compiled this into one call. So it does make it easier. Absolutely. Makes it simpler. So I just wanted to take a moment. The cost, that is a very good question. $149 a month. Oh, startup is $29 a month. There you go. And so what it looks like is you get 500 calls. And click on it. Oh, 100,000 calls a month, which is super cool.
but for free you get 500.
Yeah, for free. So definitely, if you're just testing things, that's probably the route you'd want to go. Otherwise, $30 a month, it can save you a big headache. It definitely can. The way that I'd go about it personally, since I'm at least confident and familiar with APIs, and I definitely know it's a juggle or a lot to juggle, I'd still probably approach it from the API connector myself. But let's say you don't have that knowledge, you don't have the time, you don't have the resources, then this is definitely going to help. And it's also going to help if you want to pursue Pathix because of their customer service. Super responsive, super awesome and willing to help. So
I have heard nothing but great things about Pathix in terms of their customer service.
Oh, their customer service is great.
Amazing. So, yep. But I would probably, I'm right there with you, Cameron. I would go the route of doing it in my own API connector.
Yeah.
I understand it takes time to understand it and to learn it, and I think it's just, you feel so, it's empowering to know how to do that. So I guess, okay, so here's the thing, is I work in Bubble all the time. I'm a professional Bubble dev. I own a Bubble education company, and so I'm always going to be in Bubble. If you really just need to get this one thing working in your app, maybe $29 per month is worth it for you to just be able to knock it out and not have to think about it again. But for me, like, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, okay, I'm getting my startup off the ground. Here's another one of another like 100 different subscription fees that you end up paying, when technically what you pay to Bubble is covering the cost of making those calls yourself. So if you, even if you just come on office hours, like, sign up. I'll send you a link to come on to office hours for a complimentary session. Sign up and come and ask your questions, and we'll help you get it figured out.
Yeah, totally. Also, Ben, one of the things that I wasn't able to find for whichever reason, and I attribute it to the screen size ultimately that I was on. Like I had mentioned, so there is a quota impact for every call. For a search, it's 100 units for one search, which can get pretty crazy. I found it actually very useful to go through your playlists instead, because it's a 1 unit. So what you would do is you'd look for the user, you'd find their playlist, and then you'd be able to see all the videos inside that playlist. So 1 unit versus 100, I think it's a no-brainer. But I also wanted to actually show you, because also, like I had mentioned, the Sandbox Mode is here on the right-hand side where it wasn't previously. And so, it's asking you, and it says, as we scroll down, it says this is your HTTP request. This is your required parameter. You do need to include part string. And then it says specify 0 or 1 of the following parameters. So 0 or 1, but definitely not 2 or any more than that. I use for mine, especially if you're going to have users authenticate. This is going to be themselves. So if I for mine equals true, then I scroll all the way down to the bottom and I click execute. It's going to do everything that I need to. I'm logging into Google right now with my account. I'm allowing it. Don't know if you can see that on my screen, but it comes up with an OAuth screen. And I love this. Looks like we ran out of the YouTube quota has been exceeded. I don't believe that's actually the case. What I think it is let's see, where did we go? So revoke Google permissions. have access to that. We should be able to refresh and hopefully it'll let us do what we need to. Huh. This error may be due to using insufficient credential type. Try using OAuth 2.0. Well, we are using OAuth 2.0. Let's add those extra scopes.
Be right back, guys.
Okay.
Mhm. Nope.
Well, you can't blame me. This is definitely a Google thing. Interesting. Let's see. Oh, this may be why for mine's true. And then let's just go ahead and add string again.
Nope. Still doesn't like it.
Like it at all. Okay. Remove that. Okay. Try this again. Wait, where did I? Right here. For mine true part string. Okay. And I'm actually going to select a different account. Let's do this one. My Brave browser shield is turned off too. This might be why. I'm signed into the wrong account. I'm trying to authorize. Man, I don't want to have this. This is YouTube.
Come on.
Da-da-da-dum-da-da. Wow, really? Oh my goodness. Okay, honestly, I have zero idea why this is happening. It shouldn't be. How unfortunate. Now, if you don't mind, you can go to this and I'll send you this here.
Mhm.
Perhaps you may be able to find more luck. Yep, that brings you there.
This is one of those days.
Yeah, very interesting.
For my true.
Well, a little better than what I was getting. Let's scroll up a little bit if you don't mind. All the way to the top. Yeah, so we have string. Okay, and then scroll down, and then maybe what we were doing is the type. Let's go to type. It's somewhere down there. Yep, type, and let's add video. And you may have right down below, right there. Oh, move your mouse up too. One
Type.
more. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, go ahead and add a video. And even if you don't have any videos on your account, this should work. Well, we broke Google.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Very, very weird. We're following the rules. We're doing what we need to do, and Google said, hey, joke's on you.
Weird.
That is weird. I don't like that.
No, of course not.
We're doing everything we need to, and it says no. Huh. And video type. Back it with that. That's interesting. It doesn't matter which account I'm authorizing it on. It says that my quota has exceeded regardless. Curious. I wanted to show you how it would work, which to some degree, I guess you're able to see that you can view the HTTP request to see how it's written out.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately, honestly, what I was trying to show you. The response, I mean, given that this is Google's playground, we would expect the response to actually be valid. But the URL, the parameters, that's going to help you determining on, how to actually get this to work, including the two headers, authorization bearer, access token, as well as accept application /JSON. But yeah, so there you go.
So would this work if I don't have OAuth? Like all I want to do is bring in a list of videos by a channel?
Yeah. You'll still be able to do that. So we were using the for mine equals true.
Yeah.
And that's if it is that users. You're also going to be able to find if somebody does authorize with Google, you'll be able to get their actual channel ID. And at the very top, you'll see where it says channel ID and it's a string. So if you search for, if you just put in their channel ID and then search it, it should still pull up all their videos in that playlist. Message string, errors, message string, domain, YouTube part, unknown part, location part. Okay, I'm gonna take a look here. This is very weird. It shouldn't be this complicated, I swear.
I can't see anything there that's
Oh, I think I know why. Maybe. Give me 1 second here. I'm looking at the properties. Part we do snippet. I think that's what we want to do. I could have been giving us the wrong information this whole time, which makes more sense. Okay. That does make more sense. Okay. I'm so sorry. Instead of writing part string, write part snippet. My apologies. Yeah, there we go.
Always the little things.
It always is. Yep, always is.
Oh,
Well, in this case, a big thing, but
oh boy. Yeah, we'll edit this part. No.
no, because that's part of what we do. It's the work.
But yeah, there you go. And if you click on where is it? It does specify in their documentation that it would be snippet that you're gonna want to include. I have to find where that is hiding.
Doesn't really bring in any information though, does it? There's not much there. Almost nothing from what I can see.
We're searching on the list, search list. So what we've done is we are pulling Results per page. So yeah, it's not pulling any results. Now, why is it not pulling any results? Let's figure that out.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's videos on Pro NoCoders, isn't there, Tanya? Maybe like 250 of them.
242. The one that's playing live right now is 242. Actually, I don't think we started like broadcasting until episode like 70 or something like that on YouTube. We have earlier broadcasts in the Facebook group if anybody's looking for them.
Now, what's really interesting for me still, and this could be because of my cookies, I'm still getting a quota error. Snippet. Yep. Yeah, so for me, snippet true. One of the things that let's go ahead and scroll all the way down to where we saw the auth 2.0 prior and open that, show the scopes, and then add YouTube and read only. Yeah, that should help us out a little bit. It's just no. Okay, scroll up to type. Did we include video?
No. Any?
No, not that one. So the actual type parameter, it's just type. So scroll down a little bit and it's somewhere in this list.
Like we did before.
Oh, type is
video.
specified as video. Well, let me go ahead and pull up that account. Let me get the Pro NoCoders account here. Or if you don't mind just pasting the, oh, I found it. Okay. ID. List part snippet video channel ID video or type is video. Okay. So on my side, and one of the reasons this may be happening, go ahead and actually, believe it or not, close out of this tab and reopen it.
Like that?
Sure. Yeah, that should do it. So part snippet. We scroll all the way down to where you see type and then include video. And now we should be good to go. Go ahead and click before that the show scopes. Well, let's give those 3 again. Yep.
There we go.
Yeah. So you just need to refresh it, but yeah, cool. So yes, finally, after a bunch of trial and error, this is it comes in as JSON data within Bubble. You're able to modify that, save it, manipulate it, do what you need to do. So if you were trying to find a bunch of data from users, brands, what have you, you'd be able to pull that information. Including, of course, as you see here, the thumbnails and the length of the video and so on. Or you should have the thumbnail.
Yeah, theoretically, it's coming up as an option.
Yeah, perfect. Let's scroll down a little bit. So it shows the publish time, the channel ID, and the title. You can also include more within your parameters. So we've just included snippet. You can also include something called content details and statistics. So I'll go ahead and share my screen for us real quick.
Awesome.
So this is how you would write it out. It is comma separated. So this is, if we were to be in the Bubble API connector, we'd part equals just like this, a comma separated list. No spaces or anything. And this should help us get some, goodness gracious. Okay, let's refresh this.
It's weird. What's the other type that YouTube has besides video? I don't know why they need video type.
I think it's channel and then playlist. You're able to specify in your search.
Gotcha.
Let's just do content details. Let's see, does this work for us instead? This is very well, actually. I don't want to give you wrong information.
Can you send those 3 to me and I'll try it in mine?
Yeah, definitely. Let's do that. Yeah, video, channel, and then playlist are the types that you can search for here.
I'm getting further. No.
It doesn't like content details.
Yeah, it's because it's a capital, isn't it?
No, you actually want a camel case like that.
Oh, really? So should I try that? Take that out? Is there supposed to be a space between commas? No, there's not.
No space. Typically no space. Let's see, snippet dot. Yeah, I'm seeing content details on the overview. It works. That's what it's saying. It's saying, yep, you can use the content.
Oh, I know what it is. Is it this?
Oh, no, it shouldn't be. I honestly, I'm a little, I guess you could say rambunctious here. I'm conflating what we're currently doing versus what I remember. The content details is for the channels. My apologies. It is not for the search. And we're able to actually tell this by, if you scroll down while we're on, well, actually, you're on list. If we click overview, and you scroll down, you'll see what you can include. Where we're given snippet, but no content details.
How far down do you want to go here?
Yeah, exactly. So you'll be able to see the snippet object contains like the details and so on. There isn't any content details here, but if you were to do the same where you click on channel and then overview and you scroll down, you'll see that's where content details is actually where we find it. And so I'm just remembering things a little wrong. So I apologize for giving you that information, but that doesn't change the fact though, that you can use those parameters in your searches, that being for the channels when you're making a channel request.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll have a play with that and I'll go back and watch episode 110.
Yeah, definitely. Please do. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can do this here. Yeah, so if you go to channels list, it says within required parameters part, where it is a comma separated list of one or more channel resource properties. that would be part equals content details is how they specify it. They say you can use this. And then it also says the following list contains the part, and I can share my screen real quick. The following list contains the part names that you can include in the parameter value, where snippet is also here. So if we do content details, snippet, and statistics, we should be good. I should be able to select mine equals true. I don't believe I need any other parameters. Let's go ahead and execute this. And we should be given more information about what we found. I'm going to make sure I select these things. There's just no luck today.
No.
Interesting. Let's get rid of that, even though we specified it. Specify exactly one of the following, mine, that would be us, with a OAuth 2.0 connection. Refresh it and try it that way. Content details, mine's true. There's nothing else that we should add based on what this is saying. This is the HTTP request. We do, of course, need to have it authorized. Google should be handling all of this behind the scenes. Parts is a string where we could either specify snippet, statistics, content details. And then we fill.
I have to jump off. I've got to jump on another Zoom. But I'll watch this back later and and hit you up on Friday, is it? I think is your next session.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come back and see what we found.
Yeah, definitely. Please do keep me in the loop. Ask questions, send looms, do whatever you need to do. I'm here for you. No worries.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Chat soon.
Absolutely. Chat soon.
Bye. Cameron.
Tanya, what's going on?
Like, you're demonstrating like this is the work, people. Like, that's the thing. It's like, that's why I don't edit this stuff out, like when we're struggling with these sorts of things. Because then eventually you come back and you show it and it's working. And it's that time that you spend struggling sometimes where you learn. And then other times you're not learning. It's just Google being a pain or Bubble being a pain, right? But
yeah, as we've seen, just with the simple refresh, we're able to get the other one work and so on. It is really frustrating for anybody that is watching.
Super frustrating.
If you Google what people have to say about the Google API, a lot of people say it's very frustrating to work with. This being just one of the examples as to why.
And that was the first API you ever worked with.
Yeah, it can be very, very tiresome. They can get very, very tiresome, for sure.
For sure.
But yeah, so this demonstration of this playground, as you saw, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Even if you keep everything the same, it is just the way that Google really honestly is sometimes. Not to say, of course, that, this isn't helpful. Oh, what's that?
Playground, like, is that how you do this? Is you use the playground until it works, or do you ever use Postman instead? Or
so, believe it or not,
from Bubble,
you absolutely can use either or. Postman's awesome. I've used Postman for a handful of projects in the past. What I did though is everything was inside Bubble when I was first tackling this. One of the reasons being is because I'm working inside Bubble. I need my API to work inside Bubble, so I'm going to stick inside Bubble. And it's great once you actually get it working. You don't need to actually then take what you have in Postman and put it inside Bubble. You can start playing with that data that you captured immediately. So to answer your question, you can use both. You can use all three. I like to use the Google Playground just to sort of get the hang of things. When I was starting out with Google, it was really cool to be able to see what I should be getting without having to put it inside Bubble. And it's typically a little more fast paced because you don't have to worry about the access token or the refresh, whatever it may be. So my recommendation to anybody starting out with Google in this case would to be focus on your Google Playground. And sometimes it doesn't work as demonstrated here, which then I would then say put it inside Bubble. If you're getting some weird errors like the YouTube quota has been exceeded, and let's say you're able to demonstrate that it works once on page refresh, then you know that it's going to be Google. So take what you have and put it inside Bubble, and then you should be good to go. So that's just that's the way that I'd approach it. Use Playground to sort of experiment with it and then put it into Bubble. Postman's not a bad idea either, though.
Got it. Awesome. Well, I mean, even Bubble recommends that you use Postman. So that's why I bring it up. Because if you go to the API connector at the top, it says, try this in Postman first.
That's true. That's true. It does say that. And then on groups on the internet, people also say to use Postman as well.
Everybody loves Postman, yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really easy and simple to use. So definitely no hate towards that. It's just stubbornness, I guess, leads me to use the API connector. But you know how it is. Like I said, I've used Postman before on plenty of other projects, and it has its benefits where it's very quick, lightweight, and easy to use. I just like being able to then just immediately take my data and start playing with it. So that's why I stuck with the API connector.
For sure.
But yeah, that's it.
Well, I guess we should move into after hours.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. For those watching at home, thank you for tuning in. Got a clear example of how crazy the APIs can be with either Pathfix or whether you're doing it yourself. It can get a little crazy. We recommend definitely signing up for Pro NoCoders. If you need any help with your APIs, we'll be there to assist. We are going to move into after office hours. So if you are a developer member with that membership, you can go ahead and join us, where if you have any projects that are a little bit more sensitive that you don't want to show on camera or with a big group of people, you can go ahead and join us to do so. But until next time, guys, you have a good one. Take care.